tokens. C tokens means they are the smallest individual unit of a C program. Just like words are the building blocks of a sentence, the C tokens are the building blocks of a programming language. So in C programming language, if we divide the programming language, the basic unit, the smallest unit, we call it as a C token. It could be a word or a punctuation mark, whatever. So C tokens are of these many types: keywords, identifiers, constants, strings, special symbols, and operators. So what are keywords? Keywords are those which are already there inside the C program. The compiler knows the meanings of such keywords. They are some words which have a specific purpose to do in C programming. So examples of keywords are name, break, int, float, etc. These are examples of some of the keywords. There are n number of keywords in C. So these are the keywords which are having specific meaning associated with it. So we cannot use it just like that. Okay, each one is having its own purpose. Now, what are identifiers? Identifiers are those which are created by we, the people. When we write a program in the language, we can name some variables or functions or arrays with some names. We are giving some names to those things. So those are called as identifiers. So naming means, example, I'm declaring a variable as a, or count, or flag, or calculate. Here calculate is a function because it is having parenthesis over here. So I'm naming these things. So these are the names which I had given. So these are the identifiers which is used to represent some meaningful names to a variable or a function or an array. So there are certain rules to name an identifier, to write an identifier. What are the rules? There are 5 important rules. When you write an identifier, it must be a combination of alphabet or digit, or it could have an underscore also. So A could be an identifier, A2 could be an identifier. So it could be a combination of digits and alphabets. Also we can use underscore. If I want to write register number, REG, register underscore number, this is fine. So we can use an underscore in between. So that is the rule 1. That is identifiers can be written with a combination of alphabets or numbers, that is digits, and an underscore. So you can either write a full as alphabets or a combination of alphabets and numbers and underscore. Now the second rule is that an identifier should never begin with a digit. Either it could be written like A2 or underscore A2. This is also fine. This is also fine. But if we write 2A, if we declare an identifier as 2A, if we name an identifier as 2A, this is wrong. We cannot start writing an identifier beginning from a digit. So this is wrong. So you can write like this: register underscore number underscore A2 is correct. Underscore A2. A2, that is correct, but 2A should not start from a digit. That is the second rule. Third rule is that identifier, when you declare an identifier, the maximum length should be 32 character. Okay, so after that it is not considered as significant. So after 32 characters, the rest will be cut by the compiler. So that is the third rule. Now the fourth rule is that we cannot use a keyword as an identifier. Suppose I'm declaring this, I'm using int as an identifier. This is wrong. We cannot use a keyword as an identifier. Keywords are special purpose words, special purpose words in a programming language. So we cannot use a keyword as an identifier. Last rule is that we cannot use a space in between an identifier. That is register space number. This is wrong. We cannot use white space in between identifiers within an identifier. So if you want to write two words, you have to combine it using an underscore. You can either write like this, register number like combinedly, or you can put an underscore to combine it. So these are the two major rules of an identifier. Now I'll talk about variables too. What is a variable? Variables are those which varies its values throughout the program. Suppose I'm using a variable a, int a equal to 10. If I'm using a as a variable, here a is a variable, that means it is holding a value of 10 now. Now it can change the value. A equal to 11. I can assign 11 to a. But what is a constant? 11 is constant. 11 or 10 or 100. These are constants. Its value never change. 100 means it is 100 forever. But a equal to 11. Meanwhile, when I do programming, I can increment a, I can decrement a. So I can reassign the values to a. That is called variable, whose values keeps on changing. Variables are used to hold some values. Okay, so here a holds some value. Float b equal to 20.5. Here b holds a value of 20.5. So these are variables. Next token is constant. What is a constant? Constant means those values which will remain the same throughout the program. So constants are of two types: numeric constant and character constant. So what is a numeric constant? Suppose I am printing the values like 5, 10, 100.5, 99.6. All these are called as numeric constants. These are the numbers. So these are called as numeric constants. If I print 100, 100 means the value is 100 itself. I cannot change the value of 100. So that we call as a constant. And what is a character constant? What is a character? Every individual alphabet we call as a character. Okay, so C, A, B, all these are characters. If I enclose these inside a single quote, we call it as a character constant. So each character, each alphabet which is enclosed in a single quote, we call it as a character constant. Now, what is a string? Or what are strings? We know a group of character forms together a string. So it is enclosed within double quotes. Hello. These are strings, group of characters combined together to form string, and it is enclosed within double quotes. That is string. Now what are operators? We know operators are those which perform some operations between two variables or numbers. Like a plus b, if we have to do, plus is an operator. So plus, minus, division, star, modulo, etc. These are the major operators used in C. Now comes the special symbols. So we have seen keywords, identifiers, constants, strings and operators. All other characters we call as special symbols. So these braces, this bracket, this tilde, all these we consider as special symbols. So that's all about C tokens.